Good morning and welcome back to Dynamite-Acres. Today we're going to do a rabbit film. So I wanted to show you this litter for a couple of reasons. They are 6 weeks and 5 days old. Hi, little man. And they are going to start their weaning process. I've had several people ask me, how do you wean your rabbits? You know, make sure mama is healthy, babies are healthy. And then a lot of my rabbits move on to homes or to people who are going to show them, or they do move on into grow pens. These are dual purpose rabbits. They're great pets, great show animals, but they also serve a good meat purpose as well. These are a litter of Rexes, and I just took their mama out. Like I said, they're 6 weeks, 5 days old. I've been watching mama. She actually kindled with 2 other does who weaned their babies 3 days earlier. Actually 4 days earlier. What I do is I watch my does, and when they are not feeding the babies anymore, I reach in and I pet the belly of the does. Once they are no longer lactating, I feel like the mother has started or has already weaned their kits naturally. I remove the mother and I leave the babies in their natural environment. So this is her kindling cage. This is Bluebell's normal cage. It is 20 inches by 40 inches. It's a very large cage, and she lives in here all the time except for when we're weaning the babies. I do take my rabbits out to exercise, and we have an exercise pen, and so they're all on a rotation, and weather permitting, everybody gets to go outside at least twice a week and get to spend several hours in the shade, in the grass, playing and eating and all that stuff. The other reason I wanted to show you this litter is, let me see if I can get closer here. You'll notice that some of them, their ears are chewed on. See that? See that poor little guy? It was really just 2 of them. Bluebell was a first-time mother. I don't have this a lot, but this can happen in your rabbitry. Do not be alarmed. So most likely those 2 or 3 that have damaged ears were her first kits that kindled out, and she wasn't sure what she was doing. The other thing that happened was the day that she kindled, we had a lot going on the farm. So we had visitors, so we were doing tours. There was just a lot of commotion going on. So she was probably a little stressed. My other does are seasoned. This is their third year kindling. They're 3-4 years old. And so they handled the stress just fine. But Bluebell I think she struggled a little bit. But it was very obvious that she over cleaned them. And so she hurt their ears just a little bit. Please don't write your does off if this happens. This is a first-time mother mistake that can happen. Give your does at least one more chance. There's all kinds of things that can go wrong on that first kindling. So this is her first kindle, and she produced 7 beautiful specimens. Obviously, the ones with the damaged ears can't be shown, but they will find a good purpose in life. All right, so I pulled these guys out. Well, I'm sorry, I pulled the doe out. Let's go over and see Bluebell's accommodations. So this is Bluebell in her accommodations while she is recovering from the kits. This is a pretty small hutch. It is, I believe, 18 inches by, say, 24 inches, maybe 30 inches. It does have a roof on it, which I know seems strange because we're inside the rabbit barn. But I want her to have a very quiet place. I call these my hotel rooms. So she has gone to the resort, to the spa. She gets unlimited food and water. She's going to get extra vegetables and treats. She's going to get some time to herself. I find that when my does get removed from the kits, they really just kind of want to eat, sleep, and just chill. So she'll take a little while to settle down, but then she's going to enjoy her time to herself. Now, I would not house her in this hutch long term unless she had like an exercise pen or something like that she could get out of this little hutch and into a much bigger area. But for 2 or 3 days while she's recovering from the kits, she will be just fine. So every day I'll come in here several times a day and I'll check her belly, make sure that she doesn't have any discomfort or any mastitis starting, make sure she is drying up well, make sure she's not still trying to lactate. So why do I do it this way? Well, weaning is very, very stressful on any animal. And a lot of times you'll have your losses at weaning or when the rabbits leave your rabbitry to go to their new homes. If you have not got them accustomed to stress, you can lose them then. So we want to make sure that they are introduced to stress in as a stress-free environment as we can. I know that sounds a little confusing, but I'm going to stress them by removing mom, but I'm not going to remove them from their environment that they're used to. And then I'm going to let them get used to the fact that, hey, we're not with mom, but that's okay. And then I'm going to move their environment, but not separate them from each other. And then what I will do is when a few weeks have passed, whoever hasn't sold or moved on to new homes will then be separated into boys and girls. And then that will be a stressor. I will also work on training them. I do basket training and I do different things so that my rabbits are really, really friendly and easy to work with when the people come to pick their rabbit or to invest in their endeavor. But Bluebell here has got 3 days off, and then we're off for the summer. It is hot right now. One of the reasons why I have her weaned inside, I have her in the hotel room, is because it's pretty warm outside. It's getting into the 90s easily, and heat index is well into the hundreds in the sunshine. And Bluebell has been in the rabbit barn where it's a lot cooler. So I don't want to stress Bluebell by putting her outside in one of my big hutches that I sometimes put my does in when I pull them from the cages, because it's just too much hotter. It's so much hotter outside. I do the same thing in the winter. If it's so much colder outside than in the rabbit barn, I don't want to take them from my fairly warm rabbit barn out to, negative temperatures. That's just not nice or fair to any of them. So this is a good alternative for us. They seem to enjoy their hotel rooms. And then once I move the kits out to their big hutch outside, she'll move back to her regular cage. And she's going to be very glad because, as you can see, poor Sugar Plum here. Sugar Plum is the mama. She's the black and white one. And she just, there's just no peace for a mama. They're just all over her all the time. So it's nice for them to get a break to really rest up. And then we are moving into our summer break. I do not breed any of my rabbits while it's hot. So all we have to do, Mama, is we just have to get these guys weaned. And then you're off for the summer. And so then we will start breeding again in the fall, like probably November or October, when things start cooling off. All right, well, let me show you my accommodations I have outside for the kits. I have a litter that I just moved out there this morning. Let's go check on them. All right, so this is one of my outdoor grow out hutches, or my transitional hutches. And as you can see, it's not necessarily fancy. In this particular one, the roof opens and the babies have plenty of room. As you can see, they still have a board, so they have plenty of places to get up off the wire. They have unlimited food, 2 waterers, and then they have their box that they can go in and out of. And that box actually has a secondary box inside of it. So this is a hutch that I use year round, even in the winter. So my rabbits do well out here, even at -10 degrees, -20 degrees. So they have the bigger box, and then they have the smaller box that they can really get warm in. And that's what we do. So then these guys will be out here for a minimum of 1 week. I will watch them very closely and make sure that they are transitioning to outdoor living before I start advertising them for sale or screening my customers for homes for these guys. There's lots of ways to wean a rabbit, but that's what I do. Let me know if you have any questions. Please subscribe and have a great day.